Welcome to Tack House Brewery. Today we're going to be kegging a beer. We're going to keg a beer, well, both these beers today. We made these about a week and a half ago. They've been pretty steady with their gravity, so I'm confident that they're ready to go. I'm going to go over the process of how to clean out a keg, since I'm going to have to do it anyway quickly. I only have one clean keg at the moment, so two birds with one stone. And I'm going to bottle 2 beers of each, so just 2 bottles of each type of beer here. We have the Cooper's Kit Plain Jane, the way that it's meant to be, and then this is the one that beefed up a little bit with some hop additions and some malt. So here we are. The samples that I've been pulling have been down at that 1.01, 1.02 range. They've been like that for a couple days now, so I know the beer's ready. We'll pull one last sample just to confirm that nothing's changed. Pull that out of there so we don't suck any of the star sand into the bucket. Our 1.01 is pretty standard for a finished beer. Almost every keg, corny keg that I've used needs a 7/8 wrench to take it apart. First things first is to relieve the pressure. This is my keg from my last beer. I know it's a dirty keg. Remove that. Pressure's gone. Push down the lid. And there's some gunk in there. Take your wrench, loosen it off. This is the liquid side. This is the dip tube. Pull that guy out. And the liquid post. That box end wrench fits perfectly, 7/8. Liquid. Not all liquid posts have that same shape, but that's what you need. Really, as much as brewing is fun, cleaning for me isn't. But it's 90% of the work and what brewing is. So I'll just clean this guy out. So you have the posts. This one's even beat up a little bit. And I like to get the poppets out. Really all you have to do is just kind of press down on them. They come out. Make sure there's no debris or anything in those guys. And get them nice and rinsed out. And then go into my bucket of star sand. I have everything all rinsed out, cleaned out. There's no debris left in here. I'm going to take all the parts, put them back in, and then I have a keg of, you guess it, star sand that I can transfer from there to this keg via CO2. When I transfer it, what happens is it purges the keg of all the oxygen inside. You don't want oxygen in your beer. It just kind of makes it have off flavors. There's all kinds of off flavors you can get from oxygenated beer. So that being said, I'll get things put back together. I have a jumper that I pull the liquid from the keg with star sand in it. It's already pressurized, that I push into the unsanitized keg. It's clean, but not sanitized yet. So what I'll do, hook that up to the air in and then the liquid out. It'll start transferring already because it's already under pressure. You can hear it. As the transfer is going, I'll hook up some CO2 to press all the star sand out of the one keg into the other, and I can start pressurizing and purging the other keg. Once the transfer is complete, I just give it a shake, make sure it gets covered with all the star sand inside, and then it'll wait for the next keg to be cleaned. I have 2 clean kegs now. We're going to start transferring the beers into the kegs. It's a little bit different. We're doing an open transfer instead of a closed transfer, which I've been doing closed transfers for a long time. These kegs being purged, it kind of has a blanket of CO2 that when you transfer from your fermenter into the kegs, that'll help prevent oxidation from happening. So that's where we're going to start right now. We'll go with the straight up Cooper's kit. Take the lid off. You can look inside, you can see the proof that there's no contamination. It's a nice clear top, and some bubbles just from CO2, and that's it. It'll just leave it off a little bit. It'll help transfer the beer into the keg. For this, all we'll need is a hose. Release the pressure. That guy in the star sand. Now, when you start transferring, there tends to be air in the hose. And a tip I learned a long time ago was just to give it a little pinch. We'll see how it goes. Oh, no air in that hose. We're getting very close to the bottom of the air in tube. That's where I like to stop it. As promised, we're going to bottle a couple of these. The bottling wand, it has a neat little bottom on there. As soon as it's touched, liquid flows through. As soon as it's released, there's a valve and it just stops instantly. I'll show you how that works. The lid put back on the keg. Pressure relief closed. Get that out of the way. Let's grab a bottle. Start adding it in. The nice thing about the bottling wand is when you remove it, it gives you the space you need in the neck of the bottle. And we have 2 bottles ready to go. I'm going to use carbonation tablets. One for each bottle. This will reactivate the yeast that's still in suspension in the beer, and will carbonate the beer for a final product. It takes a couple weeks for that to happen. We get the capper set up, ready to go. sanitize caps. Drop down into position. This one. There's two. Good to go. We're going to mark these. We're going to move on to the Cooper's modded beer that we made. This one you can see on the side of the fermenter, there's quite a bit of sediment and stuff. A lot of people have this urge for crisp, perfectly clear beer, and that's the typical home brewer, their first go around. There's a couple ways to get rid of that hazy beer that nobody kind of wants in the beginning, and then after a point in time you get over it. The clear beers, you can do two things. There's affining agents, there's all kinds of different things. Gelatin is pretty common. If you're vegan, nobody wants to use gelatin, that's just animal fat. Or you can use thyme. Thyme clears all the beers. It really doesn't matter. A few months of being cellared, a beer will be nice and clear. The one thing though is with a hoppy beer, you don't want to cellar it for too long. You kind of want to drink those fresh. That's why they tend to be hazy. The IPAs and others like that, they're that's what you're looking for, is a fresh beer. You just don't want a lot of crap floating around inside of it. So this guy here, like I said, you can see there's a bit more trub on the bottom than the other Cooper kit. It's because we added hops, and we added some fresh malt, and the yeast was also different. So there was a bit more attenuation and fluctuation that happened inside of there. If you're looking for that clear beer, then a good cold crash. These weren't cold crash. I'm going old school, simple, and that's what we got going on here. So I'll just go on to transferring this beer. A lot of things I see online, people are, is this one infected? It's not infected. This is just yeast rafts and hop oils floating on top. This beer is going to be awesome. It smells fantastic. For a easy kit beer, we'll see. Going to bottle last 2 bottles here. As I said in previous videos, don't fear the foam. You see the bubbles in there. It's just the way Star San is. The beer's all kegged. We're gonna get it into the fridge. We'll put some CO2 on it. Gets a little loud in the brewery some days. Oh, I'm going to crank it up a bit here. If I go 30 psi from what I've found in the past, will get me a good carbonation after 48 hours. So I will make sure that I get my regulator set inside the fridge as well. That's what I need. we'll try these beers out in a few days. We're looking at Sunday, I'm hoping, and we'll get the girls to try it out. Do kind of a blind taste test. See what they think. They have no filter.